show you all the bills that drop. When I grab my Polaris box, Wednesdays when the comics drop. Whoa.
I'll take you to the comic shop, where variants are what I thought.
Hey guys, we are here to do a little bit of a prep video for Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con. And so this is the first of the Amazing Las Vegas, or Amazing Comic Con shows that's been in Vegas. So we want to try and give people as many insights as we can. Obviously it's a new show, so it's not like we have a ton of experience with this, but we think we might be able to help some people out have even a better time at this pretty awesome show as we're counting on. So the show's June 14th through the 16th in Las Vegas. It is at the South Point Casino, which is kind of an exciting spot, obviously on the south end of Vegas, and so kind of an exciting spot to have this show because it is a nice, fairly new casino with lots of things going on there from movie theaters and food places and stuff like that. But anyway, it's going Friday through Sunday, which right off the bat to me is a big deal. Is obviously a lot of shows start out with 1 day, 2 days even. This one's coming right out the gates with a 3-day show. So it opens at 3 p.m. So it's kind of like a preview night, if you will, but a 4-hour Friday night, 3 to 7. And then it's going full out 10 to 7 Saturday, 10 to 6 on Sunday. And so plan on some big days there. With the Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con, prices are great. Right now the 3-day pass is $50, which I haven't seen anything, and I might have missed something, but I haven't seen anything about that going up. So $50 for 3 days of show is really awesome. Again, now this is the first time they've been in Vegas, so there's only so much experience we've had, but we've been to Amazing Arizona several times, and so we do have a little bit of experience with that, and we know Jimmy J and the type of shows that he puts on. So the thing that I'd really encourage you to think about if you're debating on this show, or if you're going and just to know what you're getting into, because obviously it's all about managing expectations, is it's really the 3 C's. And so we will hit about 27, 28 conventions or shows, expos this year. Of them, this one emphasizes the 3 C's more than all. And so the first of those C's is creators. You're not going to find a convention of this size, of this scale, with these types of creators. And so when you have people like a Rick Remender or a Greg Capullo kind of pulling as your second tier, you know this is a big-time comic convention. And so this is a show that's put the creators first. Stan Lee will be there, Jim Lee will be there headlining, but beyond that, as I said, Capullo, Remender, Scotty Young, you've got Ryan Stegman, you've got Rob Liefeld, you've got a really long list, Humberto Ramos, and so you should go to the website, obviously, and check that out. But a ton of great creators, a great opportunity to get up close and personal, buy books, get sketches, things like that. And that's just talking about the top tier. These are the kind of the big 2, or throwing in Image, the big 3 guys being there. And so there's a ton of people beyond that even, but creators, big C there. Second C is cosplay, and so the Amazing shows are known for having a really good relationship with the cosplay community, and so they've done a great job in Arizona in the past of kind of making that part of that key or that heart of the show. And as you know, cosplay brings a lot of energy to a show. I remember, however many years back when I first started kind of really noticing the costumes, I thought, oh, that's kind of silly. I don't really get it. And now it's like, it doesn't seem like it's a convention without it. As it brings that spirit, it brings a kind of heart to the show. And so they've got a good relationship with Jessica, is it Negri? I'm not positive that's how you say the last name. I'm not, I definitely don't study cosplay as much as some of you I'm sure do. That being said, I know she's big time, and I know she's got a good group of people there coming with her, and have seen a lot of things in terms of some of their plans there. And so definitely cosplay would be a reason to come and bring those cameras and be ready to take some cool pictures there with these guys. And the last C, of course, an Amazing show, you got to expect comics. And so comics is really the heart of this show. The creators that create those comics, the cosplayers that bring those comics to life, and the last C, comics. And you're going to see comics everywhere. And so, as much as I love the show, like Phoenix Comic Con last month, we went with our list of books, and there's very few of them we were able to actually pick up there because there was a small amount of, things like something like Revival, let's say. You couldn't really find copies of that too readily available and things like that. And so you can count at Amazing Las Vegas there being a ton of comic book bins, wall books, and so whether you're looking for the cheapest books to just kind of fill in some holes from a lot of those 90s titles, or you're looking for some rare, first appearance Wolverine type stuff, or I shouldn't say rare, but let's say expensive books, they're going to have them at this show. And so, you can really enjoy that, have a good time with it. And so if you go in knowing that it's going to be about the 3 C's, that's going to kind of tell you what to expect there. If you go in expecting comic creators, cosplayers, and then those comic books, you're going to be happy because you're going to get a lot of all 3 of those, and it's going to be awesome around those wings. Few tips. One, get there early. And this isn't specific to Amazing shows, but this is specific to all shows. If you look at shows like Denver Comic Con, Phoenix Comic Con, just in the last few weeks, overflowing, lines that took 2-3 hours to get in. We saw that at Kamikaze last year. It's just tough. There's so many people. When they're throwing these shows, they don't know how many to expect. That being said, even when they bring all forces in, it doesn't mean that it's easy to get everybody processed, get them their tickets, and get them in there. So as you're planning, plan early. My suggestion with everything, whether it's San Diego Comic-Con or the tiniest shows, always think of when you need to get there and then get there a half hour or an hour earlier than that, and kind of use that as a principle to have a good time. I really encourage you to investigate all aspects of the show, and what I mean by that is this is a convention that has a lot of nooks and crannies that you'll really enjoy. A lot of really strong up-and-coming creators, a lot of cool people that may not be a Stan Lee or Jim Lee. And I mean, if you want to come and just come Saturday and spend all day in line for Jim Lee and Stan Lee type activities, that's your prerogative too. But my point is, there's a lot of great things there behind that. And I was talking to Jimmy J last week and saying, he was saying it's kind of like going to going to Disneyland and only going on Space Mountain. If you're coming just for Jim Lee or something like that. And it really is true. There's a lot of things at Amazing beyond Jim Lee and Stan Lee, as awesome as they are and as amazing as they are, and everybody should stand in line once or twice for both of those guys. That being said, don't cut yourself short on some of those other great people that are going to be there and those cool options that are going to be there. Make sure you bring a list of things that you need. If you have any holes in your comic collection, make sure to bring the list, because I'm guessing you'll be able to find them there. I think it's going to be very few books that you can't find to fill holes there. And so if there's any comics you're looking for, whether it came out last week or it came out 50 years ago, that'd be a great place to fill those holes. Speaking for Amazing Arizona, a lot of great prices from the vendors too. So we'll see if that holds up in Vegas. It's obviously a pricier city, but we'll see. And then I'd suggest really trying a new comic while you're there, trying some new creators while you're there. Go somewhere where you haven't. So if you're a big, if you're a Marvel zombie, or you're buying all the new 52 or things like that, but use this opportunity to check out some of the independent people there. Maybe check out some sketchbooks that they may be selling, or works, the web comics, maybe they got them printed. Point is there's going to be such a strong comic community there. It really would be sad if you don't go through and at least try something new. It's kind of like going to one of those big Vegas buffets. You're going to get all the things that you normally get and the things that you love, but why not try something different while you're there, and there's so many opportunities, something that you may not eat when you're at home. So something to think about there. And lastly, because it's in the South Point Casino, just a suggestion to really check out the hotel. And when you're going to take those breaks, and I always encourage every convention you go to, is take some time to walk off the floor and go somewhere. We love to be at the floor from open to close, but we always find these little half-hour intervals or hour intervals where we walk away, walk a couple blocks away or something, hang out, eat, chill out, come back with a kind of renewed spirit and a renewed zest for getting back on the floor and banging with the crowds and things like that. So because it's at the South Point, they've got an awesome movie theater. Obviously, Man of Steel comes out this weekend, so that's something to think about. But beyond that, there's going to be great food options. There's obviously gambling. So there's a lot of things to do outside. So if you ever feel yourself getting a little bit anxious with the crowds, because, hey, that's the world we live in with conventions today. It's the reason I do these videos, is because there's a need for it, because the conventions have gotten so crowded and so popular. But if you find yourself getting a little bit anxious or a little bit edgy with people bumping into you and lines and things like that, take a little break, reset your mind, get your blood sugar back up to where it needs to be, and come back in with a new state of mind and enjoy the show. And I really encourage you to try and be there, before open, to get in there at a decent time, and then also to close each day, because there's going to be, I think, a lot of great things that are going to pack the show, and I think it's a show that really deserves the 3 days. If you look at it, this is the show that really makes a lot of sense, and I think it's going to be a cornerstone on that convention circuit in the Southwest. And so if you look at a map, like a physical map, Las Vegas is a perfect spot for a show. They don't have a ton going on in that community in terms of the convention circuit as relative to these other places that you see that are sometimes overserved. And so I think a lot of hungry fans right there. And then I think there's a lot of fans like me that are going to make that 4 or 5 hour drive to get out there as well, because it is such a place. I mean, you don't see people like Rick Remender coming around the block where I'm from all the time, or Scotty Young or Ryan Stegman, things like that. And then if you look at the calendar, it's another great timing there too, because you're going to have the people that maybe are frustrated that they couldn't get into San Diego, and it's a good opportunity for them. Or it may just be people warming up. They went to WonderCon, they're getting ready for San Diego. It's kind of right there in the middle a little bit to kind of get your juices going. And again, if you're somebody that really longs for the old days of San Diego where it was more comic based, this is the type of show that cuts out a lot of that excess fat in terms of the pop culture stuff, which I love all that too, and go to all kinds of Star Trek, Star Wars, and other genre related shows. But this is one that's going to be really focused again on those comics. And so, keep your expectations level. It's going to be comics, creators, and cosplay, all kinds of fun stuff. Hope to see a lot of you out there. And on that fact, I'll see you in line in Amazing Las Vegas.
Until the series stops.
I'll take you to the comic shop, show you all the bills I drop. When I grab my pullers box, Wednesdays when the comics drop.
I'll take you to the comic shop, where things are what I thought. I'll keep spending all I got, keep reading till the series stops.
simple dress on. I see you at the next Comic-Con. With your glasses on. Yeah, the glasses on.